attitude is what if you don't have that picture perfect? Okay, John's going to look down, and he operates in the estate liquidation business. There probably won't be something picture perfect to that. So if you look at the very bottom, you have the general product and general service, and we would select something of that nature, or he would, and then we can modify chart of accounts as we go along if we need to. Okay, so it's not always picture perfect, but you want to try to get it as close as possible to what your choice is what kind of business you're going to operate. In our case, we're going to select the retail shop or online commerce. And once you make your selection choice and hit next to continue, it's going to ask us, what are we getting on our screen, Clarence?
We got how's your company organized?
How is your company organized? What does that mean?
Sole proprietor, LLC.
Okay. That basically is telling us what kind of entity are you going to be. Okay. You have choices in life when you operate a business. You can be what? You can be a sole proprietor. All right, let's look at our options. The first one on the top of your list is what?
Sole proprietor.
Sole proprietor. What's our second choice? Partnership or LLP. Choice number 3? Okay, LLC, the lovely LLC. Okay, everyone wants to be an LLC these days, and we'll talk about this in just a second. And then what do we have from there? Corporation. Is there something in parentheses? Regular or C corporation. And why does it list it like this for us? Okay, anyone ever heard of S corporation? Okay, do we have that on our list? Yeah. We do. Okay, 2 of the most popular things these days: S corporations and LLCs. And this is where it all becomes important that you know what you're doing, or you ask, or you have enough information to set up the books correctly. Because why? You can set up, go downtown, Martin Luther King, at the Secretary of State, and you'll set up what? You can set up a corporation, or you can set up an LLC. Okay, we all know you go down there, pay you $100, turn in your paperwork, they'll stamp them, and you're done. You're up and running. Your new business is good to go, for the most part. And why do I say for the most part, Clarence? Because we have issues right behind it, don't we? Okay. We have issues such as, how are we going to be taxed? We set up our entity for liability protection purposes. We're good, aren't we? Okay. Anna's going to be good to go. If someone sues her and she's an LLC or corporation, they can't take her personal assets. But that's probably the least of the problems. The bigger problem these days is what? The IRS and the taxes digging deep into your pockets, isn't it? Okay, that's what we all hate and we have to account for. I get calls all the time. Shanette's going to call me up and she'll say, Andrew, my girlfriend referred me to you, and she said that you should set me up with a corporation. Okay, Shanette, what are we going to set up is my question. I want to be an S corporation. No, Shanette, we can't do that. It's going to be my reply. Well, why not? Why can't I just be an S corporation? If you go down, I get this all the time. Go down to the Secretary of State and tell them you want to be an S corporation. You know what you're going to get? A big blank stare, and they're going to be like, huh? Okay? That is not what you set up with the state. That is a conversion process that you do with the IRS. You have to ask Uncle Sam for approval. You don't just set up your entity and miraculously become an S corporation and file an S corporation return. You will get rejected. You will create a whole can of worms when it comes to taxes during tax season. You have to file for approval, and you have to do it within 75 days from the time that you set up your LLC or your corporation. Okay? So if anyone ever needs to set one up, the form is 2553, just for your knowledge. And you would have to fill out the form, do it correctly, submit it on time, and then wait to get your approval letter, and then you are an S corporation. So when you get that S corporation, that is when you can select, when you're setting up in your books here, you would select S corporation. Simple enough. We got approved, we're an S corporation. But what if Clarence sets up an LLC? You have a selection choice for LLC, right? Okay, we all see that. Clarence is going to take that LLC, he's going to file for approval with the IRS to become an S corporation. You can convert a corporation, a regular C corporation, or an LLC to an S corporation. And this is why I spend a little time here on the screen, because if we blow by it, you're going to get confusion later on when you're trying to set up the books. Okay? An LLC can be converted to a S corporation. Once again, you have to file paperwork. You have to get approved. So if you're an LLC and you convert for tax purposes to an S corporation, go ahead and select your S corporation for your entity type. That way you can get the correct chart of accounts. Chart of accounts can always be modified. The objective here is when we finish to have a chart of accounts that is almost picture perfect, or as close to picture perfect as we can get it without having to go back in and spend a whole lot of time from the get-go to modify information. All right, so you've got LLC and you've got a C corporation. But if you're going to convert, we'll select the S corporation. If we don't convert, and we will default to an LLC,